How about I take a slice? Why don't you have a seat for me?
Hello? Is this thing on? Can y'all hear me okay over there? That's the first time I've ever been using any sort of this tomfoolery. What am I supposed to say? What is that? Put a 1 in the chat? What does that even mean? A 1 in the chat. You want me to put 1? You want... Okay, hang on. Okay, I put a 1 in the chat. Now what do you want? Now what do you want me to say? Oh, just keep going? Alright, alright. They want to see me. They want to see who I am. Okay, alright. Well, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, my good friend Shogundy has invited me onto this program here. I'd like to introduce myself formally. I have been here once before. You may remember me from the Twitch awards ceremony where we were rooting for our good friend Vincent to win the Hidden Gem Award back in 2024. That's right, TC Whetstone, the program. Folks, my name is Boris Rizzleton. How we doing? How we doing? Welcome in, welcome in. It's so good to see y'all. That's right, Boris is here. I'm back. And it is wonderful to be here. It's a beautiful, bright, and sunshiny day here on the coastline I am coming to you through an arcane transponder from far off. Is my connection clear? Can y'all hear me? You got a sticker of me on your laptop. Well, I don't know what a laptop is, TC Whetstone, but I could tell you that must be a mighty fine-looking device now with old Boris's mug on it. That's for sure. That's for sure. How are we feeling this day? How are we doing this fine Sunday? Are y'all having a good day? Are y'all having a fun day? A fun day Sunday? It's so good to be here with y'all. TC means a laptop. That clears things up. Oh, you have a laptop, not a. Okay, I see. I was. There was a little bit of confusion there. Enemy Mouse cleared that up for me. Yes, on your laptop. That's right. Yes, your portable computing device, your laptop. Oh yes, one of them technical computers. Yes, scapegoat as well. Thank you for clearing things up. It's so good to see y'all here today. A little bit of a whispering reeds, a little Akatool. Enemy Mouse, TC Whetstone. Who else is out there? Who else is here? I want to make sure I greet everybody here today. Yes, such good friend of mine, Shogundy, invited me on to talk to you all today and share some of my wisdom and some of my insights. Boris Rizzleton has many stories to tell, many friends out here in the world, and I feel very much it is my duty, my responsibility to come out and to greet y'all, tell y'all a little bit about myself. If y'all have any questions about old Boris, please feel free. I'll do my best to answer in a timely manner. And please lend me your ear and give us a moment of your time this fine Sunday evening. I know I'm a bit slow. I know we turtles were a little bit slow, but trust me, I'll get to the punchline soon enough. I heard somebody was talking about a honey mustard beef as well. That sounds delicious. CJ Wheelwright, it's so good to see you. Welcome in, folks. Shogundy and I, we go way back, and as far back as I can remember, back in old 2024, when we were cheering on for Cartoon Therapy to win a prestigious award. I was there, actually, at the award ceremony for his amazing program that he runs over in Cartoonia. I've been there a few times myself, believe it or not. And in all my travels and in all my visitations, I've traveled far to the reaches of the island of Gongania, through Cartoonia, through the highs and the lows. I've spoken to the wise man on the mountain, and I made it back here safely, here to talk to you all today. I've been all over Okatul. I've been far and wide, as far as the eye can see and as deep as your shell could swim. I've seen the vast oceans connecting our worlds together. I've seen the highest peaks of the mountain tops. And in all my years, I had never found a beach quite so serene as this one, so I felt like it was a high time for me to park my shell for high tide. Before high tide came in, that was. And Shogundy rang me up on the old arcane transponder, so I felt the need to answer the call and check in. It has been quite some time since those award ceremonies. I believe that was, just about a year ago now, almost. And when he invited me back onto his program, I felt honored. I felt very grateful to come before you all today. Beautiful day it is out here. But a little bit more about me and my story. I come from a far-off land, and I found my way here through my travels and through my many connections. You know, I've been blessed with many friends in this world and the worlds beyond. That's right. It is many places to travel, and not just here, but there and even over there and even a little bit further, beyond the veil, as it were. There's so many planes and spaces connected and layered like an onion. Deep beneath the earth, there's another location known as the Underdark, and I've wound up there one too many times. If you ask old Boris, I've found that place to be quite dark and bothersome, and I've also, as I previously mentioned, I've traveled to nearby locations over in Cartoonia. I plan to make my way over to Spectralvania at some point, when it cools off a little bit. Right now, I enjoy my time in the summer sunshine. But I've been very lucky. I've been a very lucky man to be able to have traveled as much. But I use my intellect and my silver tongue that I was gifted with. I was blessed with this silver tongue, you see. Boris Rizzleton is a man of many talents. But most notably of all, I find myself always at the latest parties and gatherings. I find myself, when I was in the Underdark, I was, for a time, headlining at the old Halcyon's Ascent. I was down there. I was doing a couple of show tunes, a couple of bands down there I used to play with for some time, you see, and it's basically, I sing, I write songs, I travel, I do all sorts of philanthropic work, and I'm out here enjoying my day off today. It's the least I could do for old Shogundy. But how are we feeling? That's a killer venue. I know it. They paid me handsomely, and it was many comings and goings down there in the Underdark. It seemed like the Halcyon's Ascent was the happening place to be. They shell out decent pay. That's right, Enemy Mouse. A decent pay for a decent man like myself. And Boris has found himself now out on the sun-shining sandy plains here. This spot suits me nicely. After a long, storied travel, I like to park my shell in the sand and soak up some sun-shining rays, let the water wash over my tired bones and feet as I recharge and prepare for my next adventure. It's funny, when they originally sent me back over here, I had just completed a stint out in Elysium. They had a spot for me at a very prestigious gala up in Elysium, and all of the bells and whistles can be nice, and they don't spare any expense over in Elysium. But I found that the pageantry and such was just a little bit overdone for me, a little bit too much, if you know what I'm saying. It's all well and good to stand on pomp and or circumstances, but even for Boris, it's a little too much. And so after I concluded my time in Elysium and found myself a couple of new friends, I made my way back on yonder, and now you see me here today. But it don't matter what it is. For old Boris Rizzleton, I could be out singing, dancing, playing a little piano, a little bit of ragtime and tunes. I could be making some appearances at all sorts of venues on the set of many interdimensional. Oh, can we hear a song? Well, TC, it's for the right price. Absolutely. I'm used to playing bigger venues. I'm not so much for party favors and tricks, you see. But if you have a song in mind, perhaps from my own repertoire, if you have a favorite you'd love to hear, maybe just for old Shogundy, I could do it for you. $700 cash. Now, you get a lot more than a song for that, TC Whetstone. I'll tell you, for a venue quite like Elysium or even Cartoonia, I have a standard fee. But for $700 cash, I'll come to your house and I'll sing for you every weekend. Okay, that's no problem. Now, I do believe you're all used to a certain program here on the Shogundy stream. I've tuned in a couple of times. I believe yesterday he was playing one of them old video games. Something about a man or maybe possibly a woman. I wasn't sure based on the facial hair, but they were deep in some castle. I tuned in for a moment and saw, I believe it was a young lady by the name of Jate, and she had some sort of estate farm that she was running around with a couple of hoodlums, and they were raising hell up in this castle full of all sorts of goblins and creatures. I believe there were kobolds and some sort of ogres and some nasty monstrosities, creatures you would not believe. I was enjoying that program, and I felt very honored to be invited here to speak with you all today. But what are some other features? What are the things are y'all used to on this here Twitch program? I'm a bit new to Twitch. I understand when they invited me out for the award ceremony last year for Hidden Gem Award, it was to highlight and to give great praise to up-and-coming artists, but I wasn't entirely sure of the nature of this gig. So what exactly goes on here? He plays games where animals fight each other? Oh, good Lord. Oh, my heavens. Well, hopefully Boris isn't expected to fight today. You see, I'm definitely more of a smooth talker and less of a fighter. I like to get in and get out quick, and I use my silver tongue and my quick wit, you see, before it comes to blows. But to each their own, TC. If he's into, let's see, I heard of these creatures before. He mentioned on what was that? On Tuesday, he was playing some sort of digital monsters. Some kind of digital monsters video game. Does that sound about right? I know he is also a fellow artist, a traditional artist by trade, mixing into the multimedias, the mixed reality blending ideas, and drawing some mighty fine turtles, if I do say so myself. His favorite is actually to make turtles fight each other. I keep an eye out. Oh, good Lord. No, you definitely let me know. I cannot afford to get a scratch on this here beautiful face, and these teeth cost old Boris a fortune. You understand. Is Squirtle my nephew? I do have a nephew. His name is not Squirtle, though. His name, well, I don't know if I should divulge that. He's actually on a reconnaissance mission with a local guild. Let's just say my nephew's a very busy fella. But I do know a Squirtle or two in my day. That's right. I believe we have a fellow VIP, as what old Shogundi told me here. Is this Chris Mack? That's right, Chris Mack. Yes, a good friend of the program here. Chris Mack, welcome in. My name is Boris Rizzleton. I'll be leading the charge today on this here Shogundi program. If you have any questions for me, I'd love to answer them for you. And that's a beautiful, beautiful diamond badge you got there next to your name. I like that. These are our VIPs, Akatul, TC Whetstone. That's right. And what was it you were saying to me? They could do some sort of command. They could try and acquire said shiny badge, a VIP shiny badge. And now, is it the badge itself? Does it shine? Because it doesn't look like it's doing much. You love this. Well, I love to be here. It's a great honor for me, Chris Mack, to come on down and talk to y'all today. But I'll be honest, if I could wax on just a moment longer, a lot of what Boris does is networking. You see, I was invited on today, but I love to obviously spin you a yarn and tell y'all a tale about this here. This wonderful location I'm in, but I believe it would also be nice to have a friend along the way. So if you hold for a moment, I believe I can set this thing up here. Now, I'm not big on this here technology, but I do have a couple of tricks up on my old sleeve. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and make a call of my own. Make a phone call here. And bring this on out here. Let's see if she's available. All right. Now, I do believe we have a connection established, but I want to make sure that the people at home can hear you. There's a couple of puddle jumps we got to do to get this whole broadcast working. All right. Oh, it's so good to hear your voice, my dear. How are you, Marwen? Well, may not be opportune for some, but most opportune in this moment here. All right, give us a few more wonderful sounds of that smooth, crystal clear voice. All right, it appears we are missing some of your audio waves. I'm not used to this form of communication. If you would please bear with me, folks. Stand by. Oh, that's very nice. Thank you. Yes, I can feel myself being relaxed in this moment. Akatul, thank you very much. All right, here. Let's close this one out proper. Let's pull up. Why don't we switch this around? Let's go back around again one more time for me, darling. If you wouldn't mind speaking up so that people can hear you at home. Let's see. Title must match. Just go ahead and send us out a couple more lines if you don't mind. I do believe that it's the most peculiar meeting of ours. We have a storied past, a history between us, but this one absolutely takes the cake. If it were up to me, I'd have you here right by my side, but unfortunately, this is what we got to do. Well, it appears now the connection is established, but for some reason, it is not coming through. So now I will have to find a way. I will have to find my own way through this, it appears. Let's try something else. Confounded technology, I swear. All right, we have you here now, but what I'm going to try and attempt is sort of a different different way to communicate. Now, go ahead, tell the people who you are.
Oh, really, Boris? This is getting so. All right. My name is Marwen Stormshell. Hello.
Can y'all hear Marwen? Is that coming through for you?
Are you receiving me?
Enemy
I
mouse
swear,
says,
I charged these crystals just a little bit ago.
I bring a few pre-charged crystals on the road there. Slick Waddle, good to see you. Welcome in. Thank you. Yes, we can hear. Ethan Viz, so good to see you as well. We're getting some emoticons out here. I can see from the arcane transponder. It appears we have established a full connection with you, my dear. You are looking as lovely as
Thank
ever.
God. Oh, you and your silver tongue, Boris, I swear. Now, why am I here? What exactly is this?
Well, now, a good friend of
What's
ours,
the purpose of this?
a good friend of mine, Shogundi, has invited me on, but I felt it was appropriate to bring on one of my nearest and dearest friends of mine along for the ride. You see, now I'm stationed out on this beachfront property here on my vacation. And normally I'm used to sort of a soiree, gala, open ceremonies and such, but the one-on-one, the interfacing with this arcane transponder, I felt like this was something much, much more suited to your talents, my dear. And so I thought, well, why not give you a call and tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you have on your side there. It looks like a dark and stormy afternoon by you. I assume that is intentional.
Well, of course it is intentional. So, um, what are these people? Chat? Are you chat? Oh, you little
Yes.
minions in chat.
Yes,
All right.
I was told to put a 1 in the chat at the top of the show. You may want to acquiesce as well. You may want to send out a 1 just to make sure the connection is stable.
Oh, right. Jeez. How about this? Let's do a 7. I'm particular to put a 7. Chat, put sevens in the chat. Of course, this is what. Hello, sevens. Show me the sevens. Oh, wonderful. All right, okay. Numbers in chat, check. All right, Boris. You want me to tell them about me now?
Please, my dear, please regale us about your studies and your nature as it relates to the visage of a storm behind you. What is it that you do, my dear?
Well, of course, my name is Marwen Stormshell, and I am a storm right. And so if you're not familiar with that term, well, the stormwright is like a part mage engineer, part thrill seeker, artisan, um, we basically we gather we well first we work with live living weather, all right? And we gather the raw, dangerous essence of storms and we harness them to power devices, forge weapons, and fuel some rituals.
Now, when you say rituals there, Marwin, what sort of ritualistic aspects? Is it something of divine nature? Is it something from the nine hells, or are you conjuring up your own handmade rituals from scratch these days?
Oh, I've got my fingers in a lot of pies. I mean, the wonderful thing about electricity is that it is so versatile. It's very versatile. I mean, if you wanted to contact the gods, if you needed to, I mean, really, my favorite thing actually is, you see this bracer I'm wearing. It's a new fangled thing. It's not quite done yet. But when I trigger it, the lightning harnessed within creates a lightning cage. So I'm
Oh,
able to trap anything within like 10 feet of my person for at least an hour.
my goodness, and what a fine bracer that is adorned upon your scaly arm. I was about to point that out. It seemed like since the last time I saw you, it was just a mere wristband that you were affixing upon your person, but it seems you have evolutionized that part of your repertoire there, and forgive my extended vocabulary.
I understand. It is a bit plain right now. It's just a working model at this time. Yeah, I'm out here on the peninsula. It's perfect for catching the storms as they roll in across the bay. And I'm just out here testing new models and harnessing lightning in the bottles. I've got my storm siphon rods, I've got my lightning cages, I've got my thunder bottles. I'm just out here really just having a blast. So, you know, as much as I love doing what I'm doing, I thought, why not? Let's give Boris a little bit of our time.
You've always been a young lady wherever the winds may blow that carries you on to your next adventure. I admire that about you and your personality. And this here talk of electricity, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Marwin, you are most certainly the expert on this subject, but is that not also how these laptops and these personal computers and video games all are powered by and operate on? Is that correct?
Oh, that is correct. Oh, humans are a funny species.
Yes, they are.
They do things, they just go about things and such, they're just so roundabout. If they just learned to, put a little bit more study into the arcane, they wouldn't need to make such fiddly little tiny devices. I mean, they could look at us with our crystals. They could save themselves so much trouble if they just studied a little bit of sorcery now and then. But, they do like their cords and wires and all that.
So many cords and wires. I was speaking to Shogundi earlier, and I'm pedaling over onto the side here. He's giving me feedback. He says I'm covering up most of the chat box, as it were. I'm not sure what that means, but humans are funny. I called Shogundi, and he showed me his whole office, his home office setup, and it's an entire rat's nest of wires and cables, and I assume there is electricity running all in and around his office, and it's just too much for old Boris. You know, I'm a man of the open road. I myself follow the great tides of the oceans and have found myself back where I once came from, but not a bolt or a shock of electricity in sight. And I think that is where you and I differ, my dear Marwen. You have such a natural gift of storm calling and of your heritage. How did you find your affiliation to the storms when you were younger? Tell me about the origins of how your family came to be the storm rights, as it were.
Well, this is a trade that it's a family trade. I'm from the Stormshell clan, and we've been, you know, chasing storms and harnessing the weather for, hundreds of years by now, I'm surely, if not 1,000. Gosh, they weren't big on recording things back in the day, but, old tradition lets us pass things down. And, it's part of our culture, part of our heritage, and so we always pass it down to the new generation. In fact, um, there's a rite of passage that all Stormshell uh, totals go through around age 16, where our mentor, whoever, is unfortunate enough to get assigned us, we have to go up on the hilltop and call down lightning, and without any help at all. I mean, of course, the mentor is there to make sure that we don't die, although accidents have happened in the past.
Now, when you say accidents and by the nature of summoning lightning, now, I've been told many times in my travels, lightning does not strike in the same place twice, but would that potentially be an accident? Or is that
Oh, lightning
intended?
certainly does strike in the same place multiple times, really, if the conditions are correct.
Oh my goodness. Now, this is something that you are proficient in as well. Lightning striking down and by your choosing, you can divine and designate locations for lightning to strike.
Oh, yes. With enough preparation and practice, experience, all that, and just, sometimes you just have a knack for it, really. Uh, you have to have really good timing, and you can only get that from experience, I suppose. But yes, accidents happen, especially when you get the little young little turrets up on the hill, and they just get so excited, so they skip essential steps in the preparation, or in opposite, they over prepare, and instead of like using the appropriate crystals, they've used something they thought would give them a little bit more oomph, and we don't want more oomph. Of course not. When you're calling down lightning, more oomph spells oh shit.
Oh shit indeed. And my dear Marwin, please remind me to stay on your good side as you have reminded me of just how powerful you really are.
I do hope you keep that in mind, Boris. You old codger, really. I'm so surprised you're alone on that beach. Aren't you usually surrounded by some sort of like harem or something?
Well, you know, even in my age, I've found that solitude can be just as good as a company of well endowed turtle mistresses. But that's another story for another time, my dear. Now, as we continue on, and I hope to regale everyone here in the chat, as it were. If you all have any questions for myself or Marwin, we are two veterans, adventurers, friends, and allies with a great and storied past. I wanted I wanted to
Now we are. We are now.
well, maybe it was a rough start at the beginning. I came up as a very plucky young adventurer, always trying to get into things. Maybe I didn't belong in necessarily at the start, but I found my place. And you remember when we first met, Marwin? It wasn't that long ago. It wasn't but a few hundred odd years ago.
I do remember, indeed, yes.
Now, when was
Still full of hot air back then.
oh, now the hot air is a good point to bring up. Now, oh, I gotta move the mic. Sorry. The hot air is a good point. I remember finding you out on a far off cape, off of the coast, and you were out there singing all sorts of songs and chants and talking about some kind of great tides and storms, and you about knocked me clean off of those rocks that day. I definitely was sticking in my nose into something I wasn't supposed to, but. Remind
You're
me,
darn right you were. Oh my lord.
remind me again. Now, how did our first adventure end up coming about? Because I seem to recall something about a Triton king, and his prince had gone missing, and he had beseeched us. Oh, I mean, we were just whippersnappers back then. But do you remember this? You remember King Triton?
Oh lord. Yes, you were just so ridiculous. You thought you knew everything, really. You just barged in. I was performing a ritual on the coast. I was trying to divine the whereabouts of the prince. I was calling in a storm, and you just you came waltzing in, knocked over my storm siphoning rods, and walked right into the circle. And at the worst possible moment. Oh my lord! I was trying to call down the storm to the circle to fire up this contraption. Oh, what was it called? Oh, it was some sort of like storm steel Sears mirror. I forget. I don't remember. But you just waltzed in and cracked it, knocked over the rod, and then came down the storm. And without the rod in place, everything went haywire.
It sure did. Now, I do apologize once again profusely for that. I know that that was not the most opportune time to stumble upon you and your rituals. I know your time with your rituals is most important to you, Marwen, but I also seem to recall that at that exact moment, we were able to uncover through a part in the storm where the prince was being held, and I also seem to recall it was my silver tongue that convinced the opposition, the Squidbilly clan. They had captured the prince, and thanks to my quick wit, we were able to come to an agreement, a trade, a prisoner's exchange for a small nominal fee. But that was kind of where it all started for us. And if I didn't stumble upon you,
Your luck is ridiculous.
well,
I've never met a luckier turtle. I swear. Okay, yes, you single-handedly messed up the ritual. However, by creating a chaotic result, we pretty much frightened the hell out of our enemies, and they just they stepped right up to the negotiating table after that. Your luck is ridiculous, my friend.
well, my grandpappy used to tell me sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. And while I also am very lucky, I tend to be very good at what I do. Now, from then, King Triton paid us a handsome fee, a reward for bringing back his precious prince, his dearest son, and now his son leads the Triton armies of the great elemental plane of water. And during our time there, we took that sort of initial investment, and you remember this, Marwen, I did pay you back for your enchanting, for your staves and such. Everything that I broke, I told you I would pay you back and then some. But where now would people most likely find you? Where is your where would we see Marwen posted up these days?
Oh, you know exactly where I am. I'm posted up on the southwestern peninsula in Shogunveld now. It's perfect, just a perfect vantage point to gather and harness storms right here off the bay.
Now, you say the bay. Now, that would not be the Lumen Lock Bay of Shogundi Veld. Now, you would not.
The
There's no way.
well, the very same, of course.
Hang on a second. Let me talk to my friend here. Now, you didn't tell me then my friend Marvin was here as well. I came out here. I purchased my land. I'm out on the coast of Shogundi Vale. They didn't tell you that.
Now, if I hold my storm glass up to my eye, I'm sure I can see your little top hat wiggling across the bay.
Now, hang on a second. What? No, what is... Enemy Mouse, you've heard of this place. You've heard tell of the Shogundi Vale. That's where we are currently. I had no idea, Ma. You were set up just outside of Lumen Lock. Now, perhaps I can pull one more trick out of my sleeve here. Now, if everyone who is enjoying this fine program, if you would do me a kindness this day, post a few of your dots out there in the chat, as I'm going to sort of conjure a little bit, try and give you a better perspective on what's going on. You see, Marvin.
Oh, you can chat for rituals. Oh, this is interesting.
As you see, I picked up a few tricks of the trade, as it were. I've learned a few things from you as well, my dear. I'm practicing a little bit of magic these days as well. I see Enemy Mouse is acquiesced. Let me keep it coming. That's right, Octul. All right. Let me see what I can do here. If I could present you all the Shogundi Veld as it was proper. Here we are. Now, you say you're over in Lumenlock. Is that the southwestern portion?
Yes, it sort of looks like a little, I don't know how you describe this shape. Like an L? Like an L-shaped little finger-like peninsula that juts out there on the southwest side.
From the southwest there of Lumenlock Bay. Now, with this here, just to give you all a brief understanding, this is the Shogundi Veld. This is where I've purchased my timeshare out here on the beach. And you said that the Lumenlock where you are located is the best place for storm calling. Is that right?
That's right. It's a lovely little place, and it's not far from the great timber forest down there.
Yes, that's right. Now, the Timber Forest, I've not had the exclusive privilege to wander far from the beach here. You see, I spend my time on the beach recharging, recuperating, divesting my assets and my investments, and then I'm very promptly on the next arcane gate out to my next venue. But what is it that brought you to Lumenlock again? Remind us and tell us what how you found yourself here in the Shogundi Veld.
Well, I'm rather nomadic. I just, go wherever the wind takes me. However, I have heard there's been some unusual weather happening. I don't know if you've noticed this, but, it's become hotter. The forest fires are becoming more intense, and I'm just, sniffing around, trying to find clues as to what is going on with the weather. And I thought, this would be a good place to study as it's so active here.
Yes, it's a beautiful day over on the eastern shore, but from where you are, it can definitely confirm these suspicions. I have heard from the man himself that weather has been a bit erratic. Hard to predict, if I had to, without knowing that you were here now, I would have guessed Marwen had her hands deep in the skies and the arcane, as it were. But if that's drawn your attention, then I believe we've got the best chance at solving what's going on. Now, tell me, Marwen, you also told us that you harness these powers and you are able to create all manner of mystical items and objects. You have this bracer here to help with your rituals and your studies, but what are some other objects and items that you are looking to build with this storm power? I'm very curious.
Well, as you mentioned before, that hefty bounty we received to resolve that King Triton incident, I set a lot of that aside and am now putting it to good use. I'm out here. That's another reason I came here, since it's so active. I can gather so many resources, and I am finally able to start building my sky sloop.
Oh my goodness! Now that takes me way back. That takes me back to one of the first couple of conversations you and I had. You've been wanting to build this sky sloop for quite some time, my dear. Is it time? Are you close? Is the construction underway? Do you need any investments? Anything old Boris Rizzleton could help you with?
Oh, well, I could always use another pair of hands, that's for certain. But as far as resources go, I'm pretty well set on all that. It's just, construction now, I suppose, and getting all the runes in the right places, all that. It's very tedious and time consuming. I mean, really, it's just going to take time.
Well, time is something, a luxury most turtles share. We have an indubitable amount of time and years beyond measure. It's so exciting to hear that you continue to pursue your dream and you're building your sky sloop. But where will you go first once its construction is complete?
Well, I suppose I can go anywhere that I want to. No longer will distance be an issue when trying to follow the most active and wonderful storms. I'm really just a calm-natured turtle. However, when I feel that static charge in the air, I have to go, 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 go right away. And now I can. I'm no longer limited. I'm no longer terrestrial, my friend.
That's right. You are no longer bound by your limbs and your legs to the land. Unlocked your potential as you soar through the great skies and you strike while that iron is hot. You sense when those charges, the static is in the air, and it leads you to your next destination. What a marvelous, marvelous part of your story that you are on. Incredible. Now, when you finish this sky sloop, what will you be outfitted with? What exactly? I imagine you'll need certain qualities, certain aspects, certain contraptions for your rituals, as you will be at the heart of these storms, in the eye of these storms, as close as you can possibly get. What are some other features of your sky sloop?
Well, as you know, we need storm siphoning rods. And now that I'll have my sky sloop, I have thought of this wonderful idea. Just listen to this. What if the mast itself was a storm siphoning rod? All right? And then below decks, just outfitted with all sorts of battery crystals. So the mast siphons in the lightning and it goes straight below decks to charge up the crystals.
I can see it in my mind's eye now. You're talking about a lightning rod, a divination of sorts, channeling that raw power and not only powering your vessel, but for any other storm arcane contraption or machinations that you may have planned. Am I
Yes.
following?
Yes, whatever power isn't used to, pilot the Thunderback. I think I'm going to call it the Thunderback, Boris. Is
Now
that wonderful?
that's a wonderful name. I could not have come up with a better name myself, and I am Boris Rizzleton after all.
Yes, so whatever power isn't used strictly for the piloting of it, it can be used to power all sorts of magical devices.
I'm also sort of I've been looking at my investments, and I feel as though that I am spending quite an awful amount of money on travel these days, through the arcane gates, and I am curious about the surrounding areas here from the Shogundi Veld. The island is very massive, as you all saw, but I assume that there is other locales left to explore. I might be in the market for a ship myself there, Marwen. Now, you are specializing say that wonderful name again once more. Let me hear it one more time.
The
The na-
Thunderback?
The Thunderback. My goodness. What a powerful name for a powerful ship. With your Thunderback soaring through the sky, now you would have no need for a vehicle based on the sea. Am I correct?
That is correct.
you would be able to go from land to sea to air and back again in any combination of those three.
Absolutely. Especially now, I have been working on this. Listen to this. My sails, I'm weaving them into cloud. They're going to be made out of cloud cloth. I've been harvesting cloud vapors, all right? And, just weaving them into giant sails for my Thunderback. And what's really interesting about this is that it also like helps with levitation properties, but also it's a very good insulator. So if we were to say we wanted to land and avoid being struck by lightning, we could just, you know, let down the sails and wrap the mast up, and it would act as an insulator.
Marvelous, my dear Marwen. You are absolutely marvelous with this. Now, to my knowledge, and I am a man of, I consider myself a turtle of many trades. I know a little about a lot. But now clouds themselves, they are water comprised of, mostly water and vapors. Now you're telling me that you can take these clouds, convert them into sails that propel the Thunderback through the sky and also helps protect you from any possible accidental lightning or storm energies and discharge. Am I picking up what you're putting down, my dear?
I think you've got the gist of it, my friend. You're a lot more intelligent than I recall.
Well, it mustn't have been too long since our last adventure together. I've been keeping my wits sharp, my dear. You see, I'm not just a pretty face and a smooth silver tongue. My mind I have to also train like a muscle. Keep it flexed and sharp in case of any potential dangers and threats. And you know me. I may be lucky, but I also have to know a thing or two about protecting my own shell.
Don't we all?
Well, marvelous indeed. Marwen, I so appreciate you being with us today, and I'm very much looking forward to the future developments of what you have going on, the Sky Sloop, the Thunderback, everything going on over there in the Southwest Peninsula over in Lumenlock. I will have to find some time before my next adventure and come pay you a proper visit and give you a housewarming gift. The only one Boris Rizzleton is capable of, and that is a warm welcome. Now, remind me, my dear, are you still a fan of those turquoise glasses filled with those island margaritas we used to enjoy?
Well, absolutely. You can't see it from my crystal's vantage point, but I have a fully functional bar out here on my peninsula.
Don't I love to hear that? Now, you get that bar ready. I'll get all of the fixings ready to go. I'll come see you, and we'll get a maiden voyage prepped for the Thunderback. And with my backing, we'll make it a whole fiesta, as it were.
That sounds absolutely marvelous, Boris. It's been wonderful catching up with you. I'm so happy that we're in the same place now.
I do declare it was the nicest surprise to find out you are also here in the Shogundi Veld. I need to make a couple more arcane transponder calls to a few of my other friends, possibly see if they maybe have ended up here as well. You know, strange weather aside, I do feel like there is a lot more to be discovered out here in the Shogundi Veld, and perhaps with the help of you and your Thunderback and maybe a few other potential investors and Rizzleton affairs. Chat, would you be interested to see more of my associates, more of my compatriots, more wonderful, marvelous women like Marwen here joining us on this here program, as Shogundi has been kind enough to host us today? I would love to call upon bring some more people out to introduce to y'all, and maybe we could, at some point, get together. We could go and properly investigate what's going on out here.
Seven's in the chat for adventure.
I do declare that sounds right. About I need to see about 7 sevens out there in the chat if y'all are interested. Akatul, Enemy Mouse, appreciate y'all being here, tuning in to this here broadcast. We made it there in the end. It was a little tough to get set up. I'm still a bit of a novice conjurer, and I'm still learning the ins and outs of all of these arcane transpositions. But I think I've earned myself an extra turquoise margarita out here on the beach, if I do say so myself.
Absolutely. If anyone deserves it, it is you, Boris. Despite all your many, many faults.
Well, now we don't have to get into all that today. You know, we may be limited for time. We don't have as much time, unfortunately, as we are blessed with. But please reward yourself. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, my dear, is there anything?
Lovely catching up with you.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt. I was just going to say I've got a big thunderhead rolling in across the bay, and I need to start setting up soon, my friend.
Absolutely. Well, I don't want to keep you from your duties and your rituals. I know it's very important to you. So, Marwen, my dear, thank you for all of your insights, for sharing your exploits and all of your machinations with us here. Everyone, please give a big round of applause for Marwen, my dearest friend out here in the Shogundi Veld. Thank you for your time, and please stay safe wherever you may be. I look forward to having a drink with you again soon.
Thank you. Thank you, chat. All right.
Yes.
Good day, Boris.
Chat, thank you all so much. Thank you so much. Oh, and there I am. It's just me now. It's me and myself. I'm getting a little bit of a feedback loop here. Hang on. Hold on. It's like looking in my favorite mirror back at home, back up here on the beach. What do y'all think about that, eh? What do y'all think? Marwen Stormshell, the mighty storm ride of a generation, following storms to gather and harness thunder, lightning, and rain in specialized containers that she makes for the Stormshell clan. Mr. Snipes, it's so good to see you. I'm not sure what bagels have to do with the conversation we just had, but I appreciate you being here nonetheless. And let me make sure I do this here. Mr. Shogundi is telling me a big thank you to one CJ Wheelwright. I believe she was here at the top of the program. She is a delight. I've had the privilege and the pleasure of meeting her as well, and she is wonderful. So thank you, CJ Wheelwright, for all that you do. I'm going to come back up into frame here. I'll come back up and greet y'all proper. Let me come back up top side and let me enhance my position here. You're welcome, CJ. No, it was Shogundi was whispering in my ear. My earpiece here was telling me that we need to get you a shout out done right and proper. So it is the least I can do, unrelated to the topic of conversation here today. It's always blurt something, usually as an introduction to my joining. Oh well. I am Rizzleton, Miss Marwen as the Stormshell here. You just missed our conversation, unfortunately. You're welcome, CJ. It's so good to have you here as well. So good to catch up with old friends and to introduce you all to the Shogundi Veld proper. Now, this is where I'm stationed, over to the eastern side of the Veld. The port is just up north from me here, but I'll give y'all another quick look. Now, where it stands, we were just catching up with a good friend of mine over in the Illuminlock Bay, down in the southwestern peninsula. We had confirmation that Marwen is stationed over there. That's where she set up shop, and I'm over to the east at that far extension just past the woods. I am south of the docks. South of the docks up at the Shogundi Veld, and we can also do this as well. And maybe I can lower the volume a little bit here. There's a perhaps it is better to run this way, and then we move over to. There we are. No, that's much better. Now you can actually get a proper look, proper channel look here. Now, one second. Let me make sure I got this here. There we are. Now all of our audio levels are coming through. So I'm over here. I can actually even do this for you. Let's put me up front. Oh, I'm doing a little transposition. See, I still learned a few tricks. Now, where I'm based, push myself down a little bit down here. Now, Boris, I'm right down here over on the eastern side of the map. And I believe if I move myself along, here, I can do this as well. I can do a little transformation, and I come over, and if we wander a little bit further along through the woods, as it were, and across Lumenloch, now right down over here is where our good friend Marwen Stormshell lives, just down off of the southwest peninsula of Lumenloch Bay, and just beyond to the western land. We seem to have a place I can see upon my map. It says the Kaizo Badlands. Now, I don't personally go there myself, but that must be where T.C. Whetstone was talking about, where Shogundi likes to go and battle his digital monsters, as it were. Most definitely not married. No, not at all. They are not married. Love it. So many places to explore. There's so much to do and so much to see, CJ Wheelwright, and I personally don't see anything wrong with taking the back streets. Slick, that's right. I believe they are called Digimons. The abbreviated version of the digital monsters that fit in your pocket. That is the Digimons. That's right. So we come back. I'll close this out proper here. The map of the Shogundi Veld, this is about as far as we have explored here today. So I wanted to use this as a time. I feel like I'm in the Righteous Gemstones. Now forgive me, I need to brush up on my human dialect. Now is this you are Kare? Kare? Is that correct? Am I pronouncing that correctly? Please feel free to correct me out here. I'm still getting used to all of the lights and the bells and whistles, but I'm not familiar with the Righteous Gemstones. I've been known to collect a few gemstones in my day, though how righteous they are, I do not know. It does sound like a wonderful thing. But my name is Boris Rizzleton, if anyone is coming in just now. I am a well-traveled, well-versed turtle in all things magnificent. We just had a wonderful conversation with a good friend, my dearest friend, I'd say, on this side of Shogundi Veld, Marwen Stormshell. She is a delight. She is a marvelous woman, able to conjure the very storms themselves. And I believe if there are any irregularities in the weather patterns in Shogundi Veld, Marwen is the right person to call. You sound similar to a southern preacher, Boris. Now, a preacher I am not, unfortunately. I only speak in tales of truth and history of adventures. I remind you of a rooster, a foghorn. That's right, yes. Now, I believe closer than this, you see. I do declare, now, Stickwaddle, you may be onto something. Now, a possible correlation to a foghorn. I've known a foghorn or two in my time. Perhaps he was one of those righteous gemstones that Ukare was talking about. But if there's anything more that y'all wish to know about me, about my story, perhaps more about the Shogundi Veld, as it were, it is my honor and my privilege today to come here and talk to y'all. But otherwise, I can spin you a yarn. I can tell you a tale. Many times in my life, Boris Rizzleton, I've been asked to appear at many functions and gatherings. I've been a singer for quite some time, for many years. I've played the piano. I know a couple of show tunes. I specialized. I learned a lot of ragtime and other fun, jaunty, jiving tunes. I've traveled to many different planes. I've been to Cartoonia. I was cheering on young Vincent last year at the Twitch Awards ceremony where he won the Hidden Gem 2024, and believe we celebrated here with the Shogundi stream as well. And I've been in cahoots with Shogundi for some time since that day, and he and I have had many conversations about what maybe Boris could bring, and I believe Marwen is just one of many friends that I've found across my time and my travels, and so I would love it if maybe next week we could come on and I could introduce y'all to some more of my friends. People maybe come out here to the Shogundi Veld, and we can all talk and discuss about our findings across the various planes. Can we resurrect dinos from that bug in your amber cane? Yes. Now, this cane was a wonderful gift from a dear friend of mine. He was a great scientist, a mastermind of all things of mechanical nature, and he was very fascinated with the prehistoric eras of this world. He gifted me this. There's a good eye on you there, Slickwater. This amber cane with a little mosquito inside. Now, it is said that the mosquitoes of that age were tough enough to pierce the hides of those ancient creatures. I believe the abbreviated there, the dinosaurs, as they were. We believe that there may just be some of their blood trapped inside of this insect. But a gift from me, from a dear friend, I carry it proudly with me wherever I go. I stand and strut with this cane, no matter where I end up across the various planes. And Mr. J. Stinch, welcome in. It's so good to see you. You have a quick question. What do my verbal contracts fall into the future of the Shogundi show? Now, I had a quick debriefing with Mr. Shogundi, Mr. Gundy, O'Gundy, your Gundy, as it were. Mr. Shogundi said that the J. Stinch verbal contracts are very much still in effect, and they will be required in perpetuity of this program. But you are welcome to enact that at your leisure, is what my notes tell me here. And it is so good to see you, my boy. I hope you are doing well this sunshine Sunday. I hope your Sunday is full of bright rays and sunshine. And if anybody else, again, if you have any questions for me, I am here to facilitate as a bridge between you and the Shogundi Veld. Mr. Stinch, if you have not yet seen, we have a wonderful, wonderful map that I've been cooking up for y'all. Here's the display for you. You can see very clearly. Oh, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Nope, come back. Nope, where is it? There it is. Sorry, I had a little interference there. Little past interference in between the channels. Now, where I'm seated comfortably now, you can see over on this side. I'm stationed right here on the eastern side of the Shogundi Veld. Here we can see the great island, as it were, the capital city, the Shogundi Veld, and the great Golden Plains. I found a nice, wonderful timeshare that I've been set up with here on the eastern coast, just south of the docks at Shogundi Veld. My good friend, Miss Marwen Stormshell, she was found over on the southwestern peninsula of the Lumenloch Bay, and just a little bit further on, we see the Kaizo Badlands over to the west. Not to be mistaken for Mr. Sho O'Gundy, the Irishman, that's correct. Believe there's some... There's been a few misconceptions there. He is not the Irish man. He is more of a streamer of the American variety. I've not been versed enough in the many dialects and human races, but I do find in my studies there to be quite a few. Is your shell always that color, or do you paint it black when you need to attend a fancy event? This is my natural color, and you see it does well to match my complexion. It helps to bring out the bright green emerald skin, and goes well with my top hat and spiky shades, as it were. But I am a turtle man of many persuasions. Now, I do see what looks to be a small thumbnail. Looks like some sort of clip there. Is that Mr. Do More Cool Stuff? It's so good to see you. So good to see you. Welcome in. Now, what is the many sides of Shogundi? What can we defer from this? You know, I'm still a bit of a novice when it comes to all this technology, and we had a short discussion about laptops versus laptops and personal computers and video games. I'm not sure what I can see here, but we do appreciate you participating with us today. And Chad, I just want to say thank you again. Yes, just do more cool stuff. So good to see you. Welcome in. My name is Boris Rizzleton. I am a good friend of Mr. Shogundy. He has invited me on today to talk to you all about my homestead here on the Shogundy Veld. I brought my dear friend Marwen Stormshell to talk with us about her findings and why she has found herself here on Shogundy Veld. And I hope to bring more of my friends out here soon to talk with y'all and answer any questions you may have. Appreciate your contributions here to the chat room, and for all of you being here today. It has been a beautiful, sunshiny Sunday. But you know, when I was traveling before I came here, I mentioned my time I spent up in Elysium. Very similar to the Shogundy Vale, golden plains of weed as far as the eye can see, and why I chose to set up my own timeshare here. It reminds me of the heavenly plains of Elysium. But there is much more to be discovered, I believe. Shogundy Veld is an island based out here on this plane of existence, and I believe there's much more to discover. So I plan on building a vessel of my own, much akin to the Marwen Stormshell sky sloop, the Thunderback. We will create a vessel, and I believe once we have a crew ready, we'll set sail. Get y'all acclimated with the local varieties and such. Make a dinner and figured I would check in on this adventure. Well, we appreciate you while you are preparing your sustenance and your delicious, delectable meal this evening. Do more cool stuff. Please regale us. Tell us what is on the menu today. What sort of edible varieties do you have going on? What sort of cool stuff is Dumore munching on this evening? And Toad Sparks, so good to see you. Welcome in. I was told anybody in the chat, if you have been stationed here, if you've been joining the program, if I have not welcomed you in, if I have not greeted you properly, my name is Boris Rizzleton. Toad Sparks, it's so good to see you. I feel like we've met in a past life. The name is very familiar to me. But I hope you are doing well. I believe that means Shogundy's whispering in my ear. He says that an exclamation point is a command that then will activate other features of this program, and a lurk as it were. Am I saying that correctly? Is it lurk? A lurk as it were means that you are with us, but you are just in the background. So we do appreciate you keeping us up there. Slick Waddle activating his own command, trying to find his own shiny VIP badge with that. I do believe we saw those at the top of the program. And one Apple's Dragon has joined us here. Were you cloned with the DNA with the blood in that mosquito? No. You see, I predate even before this mosquito. I am a well-traveled, well-experienced turtle adventurer. This was a gift from a dear friend of mine from a different plane. He gave me this, and he told me that there is potentially blood from extinct species of mammal trapped inside, but he has trusted it with me, and I carry it proudly on my person. Apple's Dragon, so good to see you. Welcome in. We are. What is it that you say on your program, Shogundy? That's right. We are glad that you have made it here today. We must have met in some manner, as your face brings a certain amount of recognition to my soul as well. Well, isn't that just the kindest thing to say to someone, even if we have just met? I do declare, that is mighty kind of you, Toad Sparks. The original hero in a half shell, which mammal? That is a mystery to us all, Apple's Dragon. Perhaps it could even be the blood of a dragon itself, though I doubt a mosquito of any variety could pierce the scales of a dragon. The worlds may never know. The mystery to us all. The original hero in a half shell. It does appear that you know one of my monikers, one of my titles. That's right. Hero in a half shell. I've been called in my time the Rhymestone Rizzler. I've been called what was one that King Triton had for us? He called me the Silver Serpent for my quick wit and my silver tongue. for helping free his son from the clutches of the Squidbilly clan out in the elemental plane of water. I believe Miss Marwen Stormshell had many names for me, none of which I could repeat here for you today. I digress. Is Shogun the king of a whole ass realm now? And are you like an interdimensional ambassador? You could call me that, CJ Wheelwright. I do believe another one of my titles could be an interdimensional ambassador. I have many friends and many connections across the many planes, as it were, and I believe Mr. Shogundi, though he may be a king or a ruler, I do know he has a large posterior. But he has asked me to come onto this program here to talk to you all and share my insights. The Titanium Terrapin Okatul, thank you. Yes, you do know some of my other titles as well. I am, I'm not sure if I can say that, Ethan Viz. I don't know if Shogunly would appreciate me alluding to his features in that way. I'll keep it respectful, as it were. But you do understand what I'm saying. He does have quite the large posterior. Is he a king? I'm not sure. I do believe he is the director of this program and has kindly offered his airtime to me and to let me speak with y'all. But I'm happy to answer any other questions you may have. The Titanium Terrapin, the Silver Serpent, that's right. I've been known to be the interdimensional ambassador. I am the Rhymestone Rizzler, all great names and titles for a man whose presence knows no bounds. Akatul, you seem to find something very amusing. I'm not sure what that may be, but we appreciate your presence here nonetheless. Whispering Reads as well, thank you for sticking around. Ethan Viz, a pleasure as always. I am a bit familiar with the Ethan Viz program. I do catch a few late night shows of my own. I don't fully understand the nature of Twitch, you see, but I do keep a few choice tabs open. Ethan Viz, definitely one of them. What's that? You want me to type something? Okay, you want me to do an exclamation mark followed by the word friends. I'm being told by Mr. Shogundi to go out there and spread the love, spread the wholesome love and adoration, much like we did from Marwen Stormshell, to all of the people. All of their locations are provided here for you in the chat room. I do believe Ethan Viz is on this list of friends as well. We do appreciate all of our friends out here. Nothing at all. Got to drive home. Well, drive safe. Whatever you're driving, I hope you drive safe. I hope you make it home safe and sound, my friends. And, for my time today, I'd love to tell you more about myself and my many adventures, but I'll tell you something else about the Shogundi Veld that I think is quite intriguing. Got to dip out, but I do want to comment that Mr. Gundy does have quite a large rear perimeter as a fellow who has one himself. I see, Mrs. Stinch, you are a proprietor of a large posterior as well. We appreciate you sharing that with us today and confirming the aspect, the ratio of a one, Mr. Shogundi's backside. So thank you for this. You know, I'm happy to share and regale, but something about this Shogundi Veld is quite perplexing. You see, in the short amount of time that I found myself here, I do agree with Marwen. The weather patterns are quite chaotic. They change quite frequently, and we found ourselves on quite a bright and sunshiny day. An aspect ratio, if you would like, I do declare that may just be that may just be the title of the century. The one with the aspect ratio, if you will. That is something. Something about the Shogundi Veld, there seems to be quite an unusual amount of increased weather and activity going on around the island. We know the Kaizo Badlands are a place you dare not go unless you yourself are prepared to fall into the clutches of madness and insanity. Mr. Shogundi, as kind as he may be as a host, I do question his own sanity, as he does spend quite quite a lot of his time out in the Badlands, and how he has maintained his faculties, I do not know. But I've only heard tell of the digital monsters that roam out in the Kaizo Badlands. There's a few towns and locations around that I've yet to explore. The Lubenlock Bay, due to its chaotic nature and weather patterns, I will leave that to Marwen Stormshell and her musings. Perhaps once the storms have been calmed and quelled, we may be able to make our way out there. But I do plan on my time being here, as this is my timeshare that I have out on the beach here. That we will see many more of my friends here soon. We will gather our wits and our resources. I believe what will be next is possibly a vessel with which to sail out and explore the countryside, as it were, of Shogundi Veld, some of the other locations and locale we can sail about, and possibly even further beyond the Shogundi Veld. So I'm quite looking forward to a new adventure. The Plains of Elysium treated me well. My time in Cartoonia, though it was short, was splendid. I have been to the elemental plane of water quite a few times. I do have plans to travel further beyond this realm into nearby neighboring planes of existence. Being the interdimensional ambassador for Shogundi and the Shogundi Veld, I have much on my plate and quite an appetite about me. But I believe my time is running up here shortly. If anybody else has any final questions or wants to know anything more about me, Boris Rizzleton is here to sate your curiosities and tell you as much as I can about what I know of the land here known as the Shogundi Veld. No, Slickwaddle, I'm okay. My time on this program is about up. His time is short. My time is short, meaning I have a few other engagements. I have a few other programs that I'm being asked to speak upon. So I wanted to make sure to maximize my time here with Mr. Shogundi. But for all of you here with us today, if you had any other final questions or comments, taking you once again back to the Shogundi Veld proper. Let's see if I can do this. If I can pull out this hat trick one last time. Show you all. We will be here, posted up on the eastern coast of the Shogundi Veld, just east of the Lumenlock Bay, staying very far away, as far as possible as I can, from the Kaizo Badlands. We have a wonderful timeshare here on the eastern shores, just south of the northern docks of the Shogundi Veld. I'll be stationed here for quite a bit of time. I've allowed myself a bit of a vacation, as it were, to relax and enjoy the fine weather that we are permitted until it turns. I'll have to have another conversation with Marwen. If one wanted to get a residence in Shogundi Veld, what would one need to do? That's a great question. Now, I was gifted this timeshare from my service to Shogundi and some of our adventures in the past. But if someone was looking to acquire a residence of their own, they need only ask Mr. Shogundi. I'll let him determine who is fit to move into the island, as he would have the better understanding. Next time he comes on, I'll let him discuss with you all. Perhaps we can set up some sort of arrangement, some sort of donation system, or maybe a buy-in, perhaps, with a certain amount of support for his program. We can put you up on the island proper. Do they have a being of a shelled variety? That's right. Yeah, they have to be a being of a shelled variety is the question. Adjusting my eyes here, catching a little bit of glare from the sunlight on my spiky shades. They don't, I think he definitely has a preference, with allowing turtles and people of our ilk together. Marwen and I, we both invested in some property here quite some time ago, and Mr. Shogundi was kind enough to allow us to move in. So perhaps if you know any other turtles, any other shelled variety, persons of note, perhaps send them on over to Shogundi, and we can bring you on the program on Sundays. I believe we'll be setting up a new program here, letting you all get to meet some of the fine folk here in the Shogundi Veld. As a guild master, I'm no stranger to plain walking myself, so I'm sure our paths will cross here in the Veld or somewhere amongst the planes of existence. Toadsparks, you seem to be a well-traveled, a well-versed man as well. Maybe a stranger in another life, but it seems to be a dear friend in this one. I'll be interested to hear more about your adventures come very soon. But no, CJ, I don't believe you necessarily have to have a shell to be welcome to the Shogundi Veld. And I did not mean to rhyme, truthfully, but that was a little bit serendipitous there. You don't need a shell to be welcome to the Veld. I believe that would be a great tagline for this here island. But I'll be interested to see if anybody else moves in. Maybe by next week we may have some new friends here to talk with. And in the future, I think part of my deal with this timeshare is coming on and talking with y'all about what's been going on and getting some updates on the island. I'm sure Marwen can check in and let us know, give us some of her findings and her rituals, as it were. I'm a smart enough man to know not to upset or get in the way of Marwen while she does what she does best. And just how swell the Velds and the citizens of this Veld. Now, the citizens of the Veld are quite swell, and svelte could be another way to describe the way that they are in the Veld, but I might as well share with you all that this Veld is swell enough for my shell to be parked here, and well, let's just say that all is well that shells well. And I've been known to be someone who may have at one point in his life had a svelte shell of the Veld. Does that answer your question, Akatul? And we appreciate your questions today. Helicopters are owned far and wide on the island. I have heard of some sort of helicopter, another airfaring vehicle. The sky sloop sounded very intriguing to me as Marwen was discussing her plans to take to the sky. But I think for me, I'm definitely more of a classic man. I enjoy the open waves, the sea brine brushed up across my wrinkled face, and I enjoy my time across the various oceans. I believe my investments will be coming back later this week, and I think it would be good for us to have Mr. Shogundi possibly procure us a vessel that we could sail out from the northern docks and peruse some of the other locales across the Shogundi Veld. While I'm here, I'd like to get a little bit more well acquainted with my locales and go with you all, sort of explore the island a bit, as it were. Hakutul, it sounds like you along for the ride. Is anybody else along for the ride? Anybody else interested in hopping aboard a vessel, a ship for us to take out and to go and explore the rest of the Shogundi Veld? Chris Mack is down. Any ones in the chat, any hearts, any love, any thumbs up? Slick Waddle be joining us. CJ Wheelwright, I'm so glad you're here. Oh my goodness, yes. I do declare that scared the ever-loving living out of me. I was not expecting that. You telling me you do this all the time, Shogundi? You telling me they hit you with all sorts of alerts and things like that? My goodness. Yar to the vessel, Apple's Dragon, Enemy Mouse, Akatul. Thank you so much for your patronage.
Now this is Prime Gaming.
Now what does that mean, Shogundi? What is a Prime Gaming? Is that some sort of video game reference? Is that some sort of arbiter or prime vestige or something? I'm not familiar with the terminology. I'm being told A little whisper in my ear, I'm being told Toadsparks just used the one and only Prime subscription available to them, used it on Shogundi's program. Now, isn't that just something? You know I'm in. Well, we got Toadsparks along for the ride as well, with Slick Waddle, CJ Wheelwright, Akatul, Enemy Mouse, Apple's Dragon, Chris Mack. We are ready for the Veld. My goodness. Such a kind folk you have assembled here before you on this program, Shogundi. I'm starting to understand the allure and the pleasures of this here Twitch streaming service. Perhaps I need to get myself a channel of my own so I can do some of my own musings. But I'm getting the signal now that our time is running out, and we are wrapping up here for the day. So I want to say a big thank you to you all for being here, letting me wax my tail. Oh my goodness! Now, Shogundi, is that meant to happen? Is that something? He's nodding yes, but the expression he has on his face is telling me that he does not enjoy when that happens. That is you. You have created a visage of yourself on your own program, and people are allowed to make a mockery of you. Is that what I'm gathering? He's nodding his head again. Yes, he still is holding this very grim expression on his face. Enemy Mouse, I believe. Yes, that's the Shog mode that he had activated there. Yes, you need your own channel for sure. Ethan Viz, I'll consider that. I'll look into my investments, and I'll possibly find a way to set up my own program here. As we run to the end of our program today, I want to thank you all so much for allowing me to come onto this space here and jaw jack for a little bit. It was such a pleasure. I was very honored, very humbled to be invited here to speak with you all today, to talk about the Shogundi Veld and future plans for Shogundi and us to take you around, show you the various locales on the island. Thank you for allowing me the privilege to bring on my dearest friend, Marwen Stormshell, as our first shared guest. I am a returning guest here on the program. Was here for our celebratory celebratory nature for the Twitch Awards ceremony back in 2024. But for the future of this stream, I think we've got a lot of good stuff in store for you all. And with Marwen by our side, I think the skies could stay clear. We can sail out soon with our very own collective, our very own group. And next week, I think I'll come back. I'll bring y'all another friend of mine. I'll showcase here. We'll introduce y'all to some of my friends here on the weekends. And Sundays will be for Boris and all of our friends. And we'll look forward to seeing what Mr. Shogundi has cooked up for us tomorrow. I do believe he is crafting once again. He is doing his own art program. And then he's back with the Digimon, the digital monsters, and he's playing that other game where he was fighting goblins and wolves and terrible creatures with eye stalks. And you all seemed to be having a good time yesterday. I was tuned in just for a little bit. You're a wonderful tour guide. You are a wonderful audience as well, CJ. I appreciate you. Enemy Mouse, thank you as well. And Stormwright, yes, Miss Stormshell, the Stormwright, was very enlightening. Yes, it's good to have a friend along the way to kind of help paint this picture. And I could not have imagined a more wonderful, more marvelous person to bring before you all today. So a big thank you to Marwen and CJ Wheelwright just as well. You two, you share a certain energy about you. You remind me of Marwen in many ways, but we did get your shout out for you. So I think with that being said, now there's a mechanic here I'm not so familiar with, but perhaps there is a person or another place we could take you into now with these transponder. These arcane transponders, they are a little finicky, but I could potentially send this audience to another location. Is that right, Shogundi? Now, you want us to find someone that we could share our discoveries with. I see. All right. Now, there's a place I've been looking forward to visiting very soon. It's over in Spectralvania. I think what better way? People say Marwen and I have the same eyes. You know, I was thinking that. I bet you and Marwen, you have the same beautiful eyes. Let's see what we have here. Now, if I set this up correctly, if I configure the arcane transponder, we can go and actually step into Spectralvania itself. Let's see if I tuned this correctly. You said just hit enter. Enter, is that right? Okay. We seem to have established a connection. And I believe the next thing I'm supposed to do here, I'm supposed to enter the exclamation mark and then put in the word raid. And that's supposed to give you all sort of a language or a code with which to bring over. And I'm also being told, yep, okay, there's sort of a Discord, a nature where you all can gather and find out more about Mr. Shogundi and the Shogundi Veld. And once again, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all for being here. A Boris Rizzleton raid. Now that I do enjoy. Now if you want to, you can take that from Akatul and we can set up a Boris Rizzleton raid as well. That sounds marvelous in its own way. I do appreciate that. You better hurry. I will. I'll get my sea legs back on. We'll tidy up around here and we'll get going. So from my notes here, I am told to tell you to be good, to be safe, to be kind, and to be well. Is that right? Close enough? And go hang out with Miss Sybil over in Spectralvania. I'll be joining you all very shortly. Until next time, I'll see you all next week with a new friend over in the Shogundi Veld. Right here. We'll see you then. God bless.